name is Geetha Krishnan, and I'm a gratitude leadership coach, speaker. That is something very inane to me and very close to my heart. And that's the reason I want to share about what gratitude leadership is all about and how we can bring more peace and happiness into our lives by just being grateful. Let me share a little story before I move on to more in depth of the content conversation. I was driving with my friend, a very dear friend. All of you are familiar with Atlanta, Georgia. Many of you are. So I have lived there quite some time, and we live in Cummings, Georgia. And I was driving along with my friend, and it was in the afternoon. There was not so much of a traffic per se. Otherwise, Atlanta, it's really there's a lot of traffic out there. And we were driving past. We had met after a really long time. She was all ecstatic, talking to me. We were chatting away the glory. And without, we didn't realize that in an instant, it was we were on the light, and she didn't realize the light was still on, and she started the car. So we moved ahead when we had to be static. When we were to stay stopped, we just actually moved ahead. There were cars around, and we just moved ahead. And I'm looking at her, I'm looking at the light. The light is still on. We were not supposed to drive right, and she looks at me, and at that instant, she had she was all sweat all over her face, and I could see the pressure on her face. And I had, and that day I forgot my companion, my telephone, my phone, my mobile phone, and I didn't have any. The only thought in my mind at that moment was, how am I going to reach my husband, or how am I going to reach anybody at all? Will I survive? Will I move past that crucial 1 second? And at that moment, I was just praying. I was just holding on to my seat, and there was a car right on towards us. And we just moved past, and we just kept going. And that was this moment which I still remember. The both of us, we were right there, and we just moved ahead of the light, and we were just grateful. That was that second when it was more of an intent how gratitude can absolutely change your life, because many of you may have been in this situation, or you can understand, you can relate to the situation, but it was so powerful. The just being able to breathe again, just being able to see my family again, that was the only thought in my mind. And I was so grateful for just being alive. I was so grateful that I could see my friend just fine, and at that instant, all that blood and all those things that I must have envisioned didn't come across. And we were safe, we were fine. You can see me right now talking to you. We were absolutely good. And the same evening, I had my workshop on growth with gratitude. I shared the same story with my participants, and it was an instant connect. And that that was that was something which is so powerful, that we are able to breathe, we are able to see each other, we are able to connect with each other, we are alive. Even there's pandemic around COVID-19 going on, we are still alive in our homes with our family members. Even yet still we may be just curtailed in our home, but we are happy that we are alive. And these are the small moments, the small little things, those just bring about the essence of the energy that surrounds us, that gives us the peace, the happiness. How can we gather more happiness? How can we gather more calmness? The attitude of gratitude is something that helps us do that. The more we are grateful, the more we can collect our little, the little fireflies in our little gratitude jars. Every second, every little moment, every little thing, all these little things matter. Today in the morning, I was preparing breakfast and we made this curry oats, and I had the onions chopped and the tomatoes chopped, and I had the pan ready with a little bit of tempering ready. I could sense the beautiful fragrance of all the uh, masalas in that, and I could feel that, and that really told me how important it is to be connected with what you're doing, how grateful you can be to all those little things, those when you put them together and you make the whole space, and that's life, isn't it? There are small moments to capture here and there and collect them, to put them together, and that's your state of happiness. The peace that sets in along with that. So certain tools I would like to suggest as gratitude leadership. I do corporate training workshops. I teach as well as I train people in organizations and one-on-one coaching as well on the gratitude mindset, how we can be more grateful. I also do online workshops. So it really helps us to connect with our whole essence, who we are as a person, and also with people around you. We start appreciating all the little and the bigger things that those are around us. It's kind of a structure that we can create. At times we talk about a person may be absolutely confused, and that's the reason he may be unhappy. But when we are started, when we know what we are doing, so there is always we always say that there's a method to madness, right? So there is always a method to what we are doing, the work that we may be doing. And when we have the method, it automatically, when we work towards work, it becomes discipline. And when we are disciplined and we have a methodology going towards it, we are organized and we structure ourselves. And that also is gratitude. When we structure ourselves, when we tell ourselves to be in the present moment, when we focus on what we are doing and we are grateful for just being able to do that, that is the leadership that you create for yourself. That is gratitude leadership. You walk in a path, and we are there to support you, to walk the talk with you, guide you, to hone the skills, to be able to become better gratitude leaders is what my whole essence is all about, my work is all about. And I try and implement each and everything in my day-to-day life. That again is something that we can implement in each other's life. I would like to share a tool that all of us, if we are not already ingrained in the part of uh, gratitude itself, writing down the gratitude, we can follow this tool. It's something that starts with writing, journaling. If many of us are familiar with journaling, we can actually write down our gratitude, and it's so powerful. Believe me, it's something that has helped me, and I have grown to do a lot more. I started off with one gratitude at a moment, and then two, and then three, and then 10, 15, 50, 50, and then now I write around 100 plus gratitude every day. Even when I do my pranayam yoga, I tend to breathe in and breathe out the daily gratitude that I would want to share with myself. So all these things really help us to connect with ourselves and physically writing them down. So I would like to share this tool. It's called Grateful Path Challenge, Grateful Path. So grateful, gratitude to a person. So writing down the name of the person whom you are grateful for, and you can add an action to it. Like for example, um, your you have a pet and you're grateful to your pet. So just you can just mention that my pet, my doggy just jumped over me and cuddled me all over. So I really felt awesome, really felt nice. So you can share that as gratitude to a person, a physical, a living human being, or a living being. Gratitude and activity, any particular activity that you may be doing. For example, you went for a stroll in a garden and you just picked a rose and you just interacted or watched looking at the rose and enjoying the fragrance. You just mentioned that. And then gratitude to a thing. So any particular thing that you may think, what is it that you're grateful for? So probably you had a cup of tea and early in the morning, holding the cup of tea, looking at the sunrise. It was so beautiful the moment itself. The moment you think about your gratitude, don't you feel that inside you? That is the positive emotion. It's absolutely at that instant there is just you cannot have a negative emotion in your mind. When you think about gratitude, when you feel gratitude, when you're grateful to someone, something, or anybody for that matter, at that instant you just cannot feel any negative feeling. All you can feel is happiness and peace. And that is something which is so powerful that we all need to carry with ourselves. I have a radio show which I do called Gratitude Radio. I've been doing this for the last 5 years. We started off as Dynamic Growth with Gratitude and had guests every week. And right now it's on my page, Facebook page as Gratitude Radio every week on Thursday. And I started off with the Gratitude Leadership Summit, interviewing entrepreneurs to support entrepreneurs in the COVID-19 pandemic period to help entrepreneurs to share about their businesses and also continue with the Gratitude Leadership Challenge, uh, sharing their gratitude on a day-to-day basis, which I'll be continuing again every Thursday to uh, uh, starting next week. So all these things really help us to connect with ourselves better and how we can be more motivated and how we can be more peaceful and gather more happiness. The more we are grateful, the more we are aligned with ourselves, the more we appreciate ourselves and we appreciate everybody around us. That's where we can harness the more positiveness that's there around us. It brings an awe in you. It brings joy. It brings a glow on your face. And actually, when you are being grateful, you are giving more happiness to yourself as opposed to somebody else. And these are the powerful moments that we need to harness and carry with ourselves. So this is my message for today is be more grateful, enjoy every second, every moment, be in the now and be grateful for this now because you never know where it will be tomorrow. You will have that now again. It's past and the present and the future. It's all depending on this now. This now will be past in just a second, and the future now will be present in just a moment. This is my um, bye bye talk with all of you that be present in this moment and enjoy the moment and be grateful for all that you have at this moment. Thank you so much.